Hey guys, welcome to Dire Bear Adventuring 6-ish. And it's ish. It hasn't hit the 30-minute mark yet, so hey, we're not at 6.5. Welcome to Dire Bear Adventuring Company. I am Heath, aka Captain Sack, aka the Dire Bear GM. And above me, or at least in my screen, way above me, we have Chief, who is Billion Arneth. We have Maddie, who is playing Callista, Steve, who is playing Gillet, and then right below me is Yenfear, who's being played by Jack. So, look, everybody, we look different, don't we? We look new. This is a new program that we'll be using to broadcast with because we're all fancy and stuff, or at least we're trying to get there. We're professional servers. We're professional servers. We are professionals at this, I promise. Maybe. Sometimes. Most of the time. Unfortunately, we don't have a big studio and a budget like other people do.
Yet.
Yet. Anyways, welcome to Foundations of Adelar, episode 35, where we're actually picking up from not last week, because last week was kind of an AMA Q&A. Let's talk about some topics that I think are really interesting to people. You do notice that we are down one player tonight. Unfortunately, Ryan could not join us, so there will be no Archie. But we will still carry on. The story needs to be told. When last we left off, they had cleared some ruffians. They had found a small halfling who was trying to pilfer someone's pocket and then proceed to pounce away, which we learned the name of this prolonging, purse-snatching person as Ponce. I almost had it. He had a small link of chain on him. He told them that he worked for someone, and as they investigated further, finding these are the ruffians that they were looking for, they dressed Yenfear, who placed a disguise on themselves and clipped the chain to themselves. Callista used her hat of disguise to make herself appear as one of the ruffians, and then placed everybody else made them invisible. They made their way in, where they met with a very colorful character who sat upon the chair, stood next to Yenfear in the sky. After tracing a finger along the jawline of Yenfear, asked where was Ponce, because you are clearly not Ponce. Where is Ponce? You have his chain.
Guess I should have learned.
None of them knew how to speak thieves' cant. Unfortunately, they would have learned that the links of chain are actually marked and notched in a particular way that identifies the individual members. They learned this quickly. Made no sense. And clearly Yenfear was not a halfling named Ponce. A battle ensued wherein they defeated the leader of this group of ruffians, and the rest of them threw their hands up, surrendering. We'll pick up with Archie quietly watching to see what the rest of the party is going to do. The ruffians are surrendering to you, so my party, tell me, what would you like to do?
Well, I am definitely staring holes into Archie because some stuff happened, and it was weird and very cool, actually.
It was
but
angelic.
Yeah, I'm a little shook.
Yeah, I kind of glazed over that part.
Yeah.
Archie sprouted wings.
Yeah.
He had a hell of a Red Bull.
Yeah, he did.
I'm going to go over to Yenfear and give him a big hug.
I don't know why I keep volunteering myself for this, but if I try to do it again, please stop me.
Gladly. Yeah.
If someone asks you if you're a god, you say or you say yes, excuse me. Someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes. If someone asks you to dress in a disguise and put a link of chain on your person, you say no.
No.
So, what do you think of these individuals? They are surrendering to you.
It was our job to like
clear them out.
We have no idea whether or not that's true.
No, this was actually a mission we picked up from the board.
It was. We were supposed to talk to someone and make sure this was the right bandits, but
there's probably a lot of bandits around here.
Well, does one of us want to go get the guard?
I don't know. Do one of you want to go get the guard? Who is going? If that is the
Archie.
Yeah, we'll make Archie go. He'll happily do that.
I will go get the guard.
He's the one who knows the city. We don't know the city.
He seems like the kind of guy that would be happy to take that errand.
Yeah.
In the meantime, what would you like to do? The body of the dead leader.
I'd like to loot the body.
Okay. Oh, can I help, please? Please, God. It's what I deserve.
That's why you got rid of Archie.
Now that Archie's out of the room. Search the bodies.
Like little rats or something.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Okay.
Whomever is looting. Zibate.
Right. Me too. Ugh. Boop boop.
You find the only things that really like strike you as interesting is he has a ring on his finger that has a large, it looks like a pearl or some sort of like pearlescent stone inside of there. He also has a metal bracelet on his hand, on his wrist, that looks like it looks like a dragon biting a wingless dragon biting its own tail. So you can see the spines, the ridges around the back of it, and it's biting its own tail.
Metal.
It can unclasp easily and come off. The eyes are some sort of rubies, and it seems to be made out of some sort of rose gold.
Well, we're gonna take that and the ring.
Yeah. Yoink.
His boots are finely cut. They come up to the knee, and they have a little extra padding slip that slips over the knee, like the knees. The heels on them are about 8 tall. They're very supple, made out of something very soft.
I'm going to stretch my leggy out and compare foot size.
It doesn't look like it would fit you.
Shit.
I am not watching.
You're not watching at all? Are you sure about that?
I am.
Sketches my.
I'm going to be finding the hands of all the.
So, like, you're actually like taking measures to make sure you're not stabbed in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, yeah. They do not resist after having watched you all like pretty much
fire to everybody.
Yeah, they're not going to fight you.
I'll take the boots anyway, but I'm just sad that I can't wear them.
Do you want to try them on?
Yeah, I do.
You slip your leg into the boot, expecting it not to fully fit. And as you do, though, it actually slides on pretty nicely.
Oh, hell yeah. Free boots.
They are, like I said, they are tall. They come up to just right at the knee, and they have a little extra flare in the front. So when your leg is straight, they sit straight. Your knee is bent, it kind of stands up.
Cool.
Very, very, very lovely looking. And like I said,
sounds sexy.
Super soft and supple.
These are my ass-kicking boots.
Are they, though? Are they?
Listen,
they are now.
We'll see.
Yeah. All right.
What were your other boots then?
Takes the other boot.
My walking boots. Just
takes a sniff first because we're all inherently ingrained to do that. Oh.
Yeah.
Throw them.
Just yeets those boots out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Callista's going to ask if everybody else is okay. If anybody had gotten hurt. And then apologize profusely to both Gillett and Arneth for having to ad-lib that entire plan and for not actually having a plan to begin with.
Yeah, I would say I'll take some of the blame for that. I mean, I feel like perhaps we should have taken a bit more time and discussed what the best course of action was to take. But I mean, we came out of this better than expected. So it's okay.
Better than these poor flubs who are burned to death and dead.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go over to Callista and give her a hug too.
He's so huggy and pure. I love him.
No. How did he end up with you, reckless messes?
He got lost.
Hitty.
What happened?
Hitty.
He married into it.
You're stuck with us
Was
now.
it a shotgun wedding?
Yeah.
Yeah, to Lucky, remember?
Fireball wedding.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wanda fireball wedding.
Like a crotch punch wedding though.
A wedding isn't a wedding until you're punched in the crotch, really.
I don't want to know what kind of weddings you go to, Jack.
No, I'm
The
pretty
fun
sure.
ones.
No, that was not in the vows. You may now punch him in the dick.
Or no else.
I'm just asserting my dominance, okay?
I have to assert myself as the top in this relationship.
Is that where you just reach out and grab him? This is mine! The crowd aggressively. Mine!
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Remind me to send me an invite.
I will, absolutely.
All right. You've bound the hands of all of the unfortunate ruffians. You've searched his body, and that's what you found. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Oh, I'm gonna go back to being the elf.
Okay.
I'm going to look around and see if there are any trapdoors for more goodies or more.
An investigation check.
Yeah. Yay.
Oh.
Can I look too?
You watch as he bumbles about for a moment. He does he is my 5-year-old. He walks and looks around the room and goes, I don't see anything. Yes, you may.
You gonna look properly or?
Oh, thanks.
Are you ever gonna learn how to lie properly?
I'm a lover, not a liar.
You don't seem to notice anything of import.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, I don't see anything in here.
So
That means it's clear.
if Arnett doesn't see anything, then there's nothing to see.
Nothing to see here. Move along.
All right.
It
Well,
depends on how much do you trust Arneth?
me personally, I mean,
You as Yenfear, you personally, either way.
me in real life with my life. Me as Yenfear with my life.
Okay, then. There's nothing else to be found.
Oh, I don't think it would.
He's got to have treasure somewhere.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be here.
I mean, would he keep it in his hideout? I don't know.
You
He
know,
seems to keep
Which-
weird
which-
sex slaves here, so I don't know.
One of these leftover bandits looks like they're gonna talk.
Wait, hold on, just 1 second. I'm sorry, Jack, could you repeat that
No,
last little line? Did I hear you say
I
he
was
keeps
like-
his sex slaves here? Is
I
that
was
what
like,
you said?
he seems to keep weird sex slaves here, so you never know.
Cool, moving right along. You can...
Okay.
Give me an
Infair, you really are a gift.
I know, thank you.
There's a younger kid who looks a bit nervous. He's probably in his late teens.
All right. We know my
He
track
looks-
record with kids like this. Let's find out if this actually works.
No, that was Annalise's track record.
I threatened a teenage woman.
Oh, that's true. You did, Belinda. That's right.
Poor Belinda.
She was just trying
Calista
to take care of her
is
kids.
going to approach this young teenager who looks like
Mhm.
he's probably about to shit his pants.
He does look nervous.
Is he sitting or is he standing?
They're all. I think you did. You sit them on their butts, or do you have them
Yeah.
standing, or what?
I had them sit down, and they're all bound there.
They're all sitting. Here you go. They're all sitting in a nice row.
Bless.
You had to do the symmetry, I kept.
I was really hoping so.
Which one appears to be the young kid?
That one.
I'm going to crouch in front of said young kid.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of brush dust off of my pants.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
Soot, ash, the leftover remains of his,
Of his
comrade.
friends.
Yeah.
Is that a buddy of yours?
So,
Sorry.
No,
Tell
you
me,
lick it off.
you wouldn't happen to know where he kept all of his loot and his stealings, would you?
Are you trying to persuade him? Or are you
I'm
trying to
asking.
intimidate?
I am asking to start.
Okay, give me a persuasion check.
Okay.
All right.
And that, dear viewers,
Eyelashes.
is how it starts.
Hmm.
He swallows. You can watch as his Adam's apple bobs up and down as he swallows hard. He kept it all under his throne chair, that spot where he was sitting. It's under there. I don't know how to open it though, but it's where it's at.
Callista is going to stand up. Does anybody know how to open his chair?
Give me an intimidation check.
Do I get advantage considering the fact that I just incinerated half of their friends?
Sure.
Oh my god!
Okay.
I don't even know why I'm here anymore.
He was like, well, that was a
All right
I don't
then.
even know what I'm doing. Just whatever you want. One of them goes, yeah, I'll tell you how to open it, but I want to make a deal.
I'm listening.
I show you how to open it. You let me go. I don't cater much to the gods. I don't want to go back to prison. So I'll open it for you. You let me go.
Okay. In addition, I'm going to let you go
Mm-hmm.
after you open that for me.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to promise that you aren't going to do crime anymore.
You're not going to be a crime? Okay.
You're not going to do crime anymore. I am not Ryan. I am not Archie.
Nope. My next stop after this is to get on the nearest boat I can find and go to Lanceport. To hell with the dwarfs, to hell with the Kamat, to hell with all the other people in this place, to hell with Silverhaven. I hope the mountain tumbles down around all of their ears. I'm getting the hell out of here.
Okay. And she is going to cut him loose from the others. Is he the one on the end? Like, is he on the very end, or?
Yeah, he's on the top.
Okay.
Top end.
She will cut him loose from the rest, and then walk him over, still bound, to the chair.
Okay. You watch as he looks at you, reaches underneath, and he seems to move something, and then he reaches underneath the other hand, the other like handrest, and move a couple of other things, and you see it slides back, not with like a grind or anything, but just kind of this of like wood groove on wood groove, just kind of. Inside is a small hold, probably about 2.5 feet by 2.5 feet, like a square. And set inside of it, you see several satchels, like small bags, just kind of crammed in there.
How many is several?
Probably about five different bags.
Okay. She's going to reach in and open one before she unties him.
Mm-hmm.
What do I find?
You find some copper and some various jewelry.
Okay. And a quick perusal through the other bags shows about the same.
Coins of different denominations, different values. One of the bags actually has unsmelted ore. And from the lackluster image, or from the lackluster way that it kind of holds in your hand, in the malleability of it, you kind of get the idea that it might be silver.
Okay. I am going to reach in, pull out 10 silver pieces and 5 copper pieces. And I'm going to hand it to the man and untie him.
He waits it, puts it away, takes off of the piece of chain that he has, throws it on the ground, spits, and then walks out the door. And at that, you hear the sound of several other voices. What about me? I don't want to go. Take me. I'll leave. I won't do any crime. They're just all clamoring for leniency from you all.
If you give a mouse a cookie.
Honestly.
And it's like, it's loud. They're all clamoring over one another to try to, they're offering you everything. They're saying they can show you where a hidden, vein of ore is.
Sure.
Show you, a dragon's hoard. There's one that's like, I can get you into the king's hold. They are offering you everything.
Callista's going to look at the young boy, the one that she scared into telling her about where.
He's also the only one that's not talking.
She's going to come over and crouch back in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
And unlike the others, you're not offering us anything.
No, ma'am. I don't know what else to offer you. I've told you all I know. I'm new. I didn't know nothing.
How did you end up on the streets?
Well, I've been an orphan. My mom and dad died a long time ago, and Belinda took me in, the lost and the unwanted. But I got old, and I couldn't stay anymore, and I had to leave. So I did the only thing I could think to do, and I joined the first group that would take me in and that I had skills that they could use. And that's how I ended up here.
Sounds like a good person to head to the Adventurers Guild, eh?
Or perhaps an older smith with a family mine that might just need a little help.
He looks confused. He's like, I've never worked a forge or an anvil. I don't.
How old are you?
19 summers now. My best, my recollection.
When do you think apprentices start working?
When they're young.
You can become an apprentice at any age. Go straight. Fuck, I can't remember what the hell his name was. The Oh, Hammerhand. Hammerhand. You're going to go find a dwarf by the name Hammerhand. And you're going to tell him that you want to learn the trade.
There's a bit of laughter when you mention the Hammerhand.
Are you sure we should send him there?
It's not like riotous laughter. It's more like kind of muffled chuckles.
Of all people.
I think that perhaps Hammerhand needs somebody to teach. Those who are going a little bit stir-crazy tend to do better when they have company.
I'll go right away. Yes, ma'am. I don't want nothing else to do with this. I don't want to go. I don't want to go back. I don't want to go to the jailers. It's no place for someone like me.
She will pull out another 10 copper pieces from the coinage and a single gold piece.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's going to hand it to him and tell him to go buy himself new clothes, new boots, smithing tools, and go see Hammerhand.
He nods like vigorously up and down, looking at you wide-eyed. He doesn't do the desecration of the icon, but he takes the chain off and throws it down and starts to leave. And he scurries out of the door.
Yeah.
I am not even touching this with a 10-foot pole, because last time I tried to intervene with people's lives, somebody ended up in a grave. So I'm just gonna...
That wasn't your fault.
I'm gonna keep just counting the knots on the wood on the floor.
Unless there's anything else that you would like to do.
No, that's it. There was a child. She wants to help the child. And the other one is like, I want to actually go straight. So she gives him what he needs to go straight.
The rest
of that money and whatnot is going into her pack.
All right.
And of course, she'll distribute you know what? Is it possible to just retroactively have given the ore to the young boy?
Yeah, sure.
Because we have no use for it.
You give him the ore and still give him 1 gold?
Yep. But she's gonna have us she'll keep the rest of it. The other 4 bags.
Okay, hang on. The other 4 bags, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Whoo, shit, okay. He's definitely buying some nice clothes, but he ain't buying a smithing tools.
No? Damn.
Ooh.
No, they're 20 gold pieces.
Oh, shit.
Gross.
Well, he'll at least get good clothes before he appears before
Sure.
Hammerhand and requests what she told him to request.
Absolutely. At about that time that the boy leaves, as a matter of fact, you hear him say, "Excuse me," as he goes out the door. Archie comes back in with 4 guards. They look at the guys, and he's like, "We're gonna say that we caught these individuals, and we're not gonna mention anything else in this room because we don't want to deal with that paperwork. Do you?"
Deal with what paperwork?
We'll sign off that you guys cleared out the ruffians on your contract that this young man was telling us about. You'll hand it over.
Of course. Since this was mine. I think I took... Did I take the bandits?
You who took the girl? Was that Arneth that took the missing girl?
No, that was me.
Oh, you took.
No, I took one of the exterminates. I don't remember if it was the rats or if it was the bandits.
Arneth, I think, took the rats.
And I took the bandits, so I'm going to hand over my writ.
He takes a moment, signs off, and he pulls something from his pocket, and he presses it into the paper, and then hands it back to you. It's got a small seal that you can see of like a gauntleted fist that's like punching at you with like spikes on the knuckles.
Cool.
It's the same crest they have on their shoulders.
Right.
He says, "Oh, that's good. We'll go ahead and get these men off your hands." And with that, they leave, escorting the men. And as they exit out, Archie kind of looks at you all and says, I apologize that it took me so long. I've been called away to something important for my family. Pardon me. I'll try to catch up with you fellows when I can. Good day." And with that, he exits, striding out of the room.
Okay, well, I guess I'll have to ask him about that wing thing later.
Yeah, maybe you can teach one of us.
Yeah, that's something you can see. That's a skill you can.
Totally.
There's a feat. Sprout wings.
I mean,
it's in Xanathar's. All right. They've all been escorted out. You have your writ stamped off. Taking time to carefully count out your newly acquired money. It's mostly silver and copper and just very few gold. There's lots of jewelry, but none of it really looks super fancy. All said and done, though, you find the equivalent of about 30 gold worth of copper. And you find, if you just want to write 30 gold, that's fine. You find 240 silver pieces. And assorted jewelry varies in range. We'll say, actually, we don't say because I wrote it down. Let me look it up. Sorry. My brain goes, wing it. No, wait, you wrote this. There's a reason why you do this. 200 pieces of jewelry. And they are worth about, it says 15 gold pieces each. So that's not that each one is appraised at 15 gold pieces. The average out. Yeah. So some is worth more, some is worth less. But if you sold it as bulk, it would be worth 15 gold pieces each.
You got it.
All right. It's a lot of gold. And jewelry, anyways.
Uh-huh.
All right. With that, where are you heading to now, my party?
Does anyone need to rest, or should we go kill some rats?
Nothing like getting another opportunity to see if you get the plague, right?
Are you going to turn that one in first, or are you going to go straight to the rats?
I think we'll go straight to the rats. I'm good on spell slots, so.
And I'm just missing one, so.
Yeah.
I think the only one who might be
hurting
for spell slots is Jack, but Jack's currently AFK.
All right.
How's your health looking, Gillett?
Untouched. I'm just missing a little bit of ki, but I can walk it off.
Evasion is such a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Really
Fireball the month, no problem. He just cartwheels out of the way.
Actually, I focused it so it only hit the enemy. I didn't hit a single one of us.
You did.
I was going to take the credit, but if you want to, that's fine.
Why? It was my tactical planning that made sure that none of us got hurt.
Yeah. No, let's not argue. You're all beautiful. All right. So you make your way across the town. It's probably a little after noon at this point in time, with everything that you guys went through, with changing the disguises, fighting those guys, getting the guard, counting the money that you've acquired. You make your way over to the southern wall and find the address as marked on the paper. The warehouse that sits in front of you is old and looks to be not really cared for. You can actually kind of spot a place or two in the roof where there's been a hole that's fallen in. You can see the doors are currently closed and barred from the outside. There seems to be an old man, probably in his 70s or so. He's sitting there with a stick and a knife, and he's slowly just whittling the stick. He doesn't seem to be making anything. It looks like he's just whittling the stick down because he has nothing better to do with his time. He's sitting on an old crate that's stamped with Burden and Sons, Birdun and Sons, and the faded painting on the outside of this building says Burden and Sons.
Welcome back.
So, this is apparently the place that you were supposed to be clearing rats or vermin.
We're clearing vermin, huh?
Yeah.
C'est la vie.
Where did you say he was sitting?
He's sitting like in front, like just off to the side of the big doors that open up into the warehouse.
Okay.
On a crate, just sitting there leaning forward. Whitland?
All right, I'll stroll over.
As your shadow moves up and kind of blocks the sun, he looks up and up and up and up. Gray scruff on sallow on sagging cheeks. You know, that's that old man look. He just looks like his face is slowly just starting to kind of go down.
He's melting.
Yeah, the melt of old age. You can see there are a few teeth in his head, and he just kind of looks at you and goes, "Can I help you?"
Yes, sir. We're here to deal with these vermin.
No, I'm here to clean out the rats. All right. Reckon you'll be wanting in then.
Yes, sir.
All right. He folds the knife and slowly puts it into his pocket as he stands, and it's a creaky.
I'll offer him a hand to help him up.
He bats at you. I'm old, not infirm. And you watch as he stands to shaky, skinny, bony legs. The breeches that he wears come down just below him, and they're tattered at the edges. They look more like you would see on like a sailor or something like that. The shirt hangs loose off of his body. Looks like he may have filled it out at one time, but now it's just this, he's just kind of grown old and the shirt hasn't changed.
I'm doing like the hover hand thing, just ready to catch him.
Yeah. He just kind of looks at you for a second, stares you right in the eye. You can see in his eyes, even though there is no give in this man's spirit. He's made of stone. He just looks at you, goes, "Are you hard of hearing? I said I'm old, not infirm. I'm not going to fall down. Get your damn hands away." And he walks over to the bar, and he puts his hands on it, and he goes, "All right, I'll admit I could use a hand here. It's a bit heavy."
I will help.
He steps back and offers it to you, and it's a big piece of timber, and it looks like from when you go to try to move it, it's like stuck in there. Give me a strength check.
Oh no. Okay.
It is really stuck in there.
All right,
Can I
I'm gonna
try
have to come
again?
help.
Gillet, why don't you give it a try? Together, you can try it.
All right.
Advantage. You can use strength or athletics if you have athletics.
No, I don't.
Okay. Together, the two of you push on it. Man, it doesn't seem to budge. It's just really. So you can see that it's been in there long enough that rain and the weather has made it swell up, and it's actually like wedged in there pretty good.
Can I try
I'm not
one
sure
more
how long it's been
time?
there, but- Sure. Are you going to help Gillet?
Sure.
Okay.
You have advantage, strength or athletics if you have athletics.
I have athletics.
God, Jesus.
Third time's the charm. As the two of you look at each other with that orcish pride. When we're not going to be defeated by a bar on a door. You surge upward, and it boom, clunk, 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 falls down on the stone. From behind you here. Took you long enough. And he kind of hitches his pants up, and you can see there's a rope that's knotted through some loops that's holding it on him. He pads over and grabs one of the resting places for the bar, puts his hand in there, and pulls it open. And surprisingly,
Cap, your mic, it's low.
Sorry.
It's weird because you were good for volume, and then like you leaned back, and we just lost the.
We lost you.
Like we can hear you, but you're really low.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Crazy.
You unplugged the snowball.
No, I did not.
No?
It's just one of those mics. I used to have one. Sometimes it's moody.
Let me make sure that I did not change my accident or otherwise. Testing.
You
No.
sound good to me.
It's a bit better.
Okay. Well, that's what I got. So there it is.
There we go.
Now you're-
Now you're back.
What is happening?
I have no idea anymore.
Well, you're great. Crystal clear now.
Fine.
Mm.
He reaches into one of the places the bar was laid down, and then it pulls on it and swings it open. As it does, the first thing that strikes you is that you can see light coming through the roof in certain places. The second thing that hits you is the overwhelming smell of mustiness. Just, it's not been completely sealed off because of the holes in the ceiling, but there's still just this dusty, this room hasn't been really modified, touched, or anything in a while. You have no idea how long. And the old man looks at you, Arneth, and goes, "No, they're not going to kill themselves, so head on in. I'll be ready."
Is there anything that we should know?
Yeah. Hit him in the head hard.
All
Thank
right,
you, sir.
I got you.
I'm not even going to make you clean up after. How's that for nice? You ought to
I'll
think
take that, yeah.
Mm. Yep. And
Well-
if you're wanting to, I've got a sack somewhere around here. I can loan you, and you can put them in a bag for me.
Or
Sure.
In fear?
I'll take the sack.
You want the sack?
Mm-hmm.
phrasing.
You want the bag?
Yes.
Okay. He kind of opens the top of the crate that he was sitting on and pulls out a really old-looking burlap bag. No holes in it, but
Old.
As old as he
Him?
looks.
probably.
All right.
He sits down and starts whittling his stick into a fine point again.
Please don't let me get like that
Shake
when I
me
get
when I
old.
get back.
Oh,
He starts to kind of hum a tune as he goes, and I would like for Gillett and Yenfear to give me perception checks, please. You're gonna have to turn off that advantage, boy. Yenfear, the tune is familiar. You can't quite place where you've heard it before, but it's one of those where you're like, oh, I think I've heard this before. I think I know this song.
wow. I think I just I crashed. I'm rebooting now. Hold on.
Your brain just went blue screen.
Yeah.
Your brain B-sodding is never a good idea.
No, it happens a lot.
Jack.exe has stopped running.
Mm-hmm.
Let's restart the application.
What are you humming there?
Song from when I was a little younger.
Which song? It sounds familiar, is what I'm asking.
It was popular a long time ago. Perhaps that's where you knew it from.
Ah.
Cheap.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
You are an elf, aren't you? Maybe you heard it when you were younger, too.
Probably.
Probably. Yeah. So, rats.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Let's go.
It's okay. It's growing up. Go.
I'm just stalling because I don't want to pick up some dead fucking rats. That's all.
I'm rolling in. Head held high, ready to kill some rats.
All right. So, Arneth, you're wandering into the warehouse.
Yes.
Okay. It is just a large, empty space, probably 60 feet across and nearly 100 feet from end to end.
So,
other than big pillars of wood that are holding the roof up at even intervals, there is nothing in this room.
I am immediately checking to see if he's closing the door and locking it on us.
Doesn't seem to be moving from his crate.
All right.
Arneth and Gillett are inside of. What about Callista?
She'll follow. She's not going to let them go in by themselves.
All right. Yenfear, are you going in or are you staying outside? Man.
Of course I'm going in. It's just rats.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, gross, but still, it's just.
Check in the back corner. Maybe they're back there hiding, having a meeting, or bothering an old man while he's whittling.
And just remember, Jack, the gladiator was just a bandit.
Listen, I don't know what I did to deserve this disrespect, but
you're not playing Marilyn.
As your de facto party leader.
Shots fired. Shots very much fired.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You all enter in.
Is it like creepy haunted basement feel?
It's
or is
like
it just
an empty
typical
warehouse.
Okay, cool.
Like an old, dilapidated, empty warehouse. As you all enter, the door does close behind you. The landscape of the floor changes. It becomes void. You're not moving. You're standing right where you are. Nothing seems to happen.
I have my
A familiar
regrets.
voice rings out as the light that you see above you, the two holes. You hear, in the beginning, of course, as always, there is nothing. Then you watch as two beings, brothers they were, appear from seemingly nothing. Some have called him Raikath, the other one Othar. We know that Raikath was of the void. Othar, of course, he was chaos. They created the sun that we have. They called it Shoth. They both loved it and admired it. And as with all things, they coveted it. They fought, as brothers do, over who could control it. And during that terrible fight, they both were injured. Othar tore Raikath's form asunder, and bits of raw darkness coalesced into planets and moons. Raikath responded by blinding Othar. His eyes scattered across the sea, across the void, the endlessness. His eyes becoming the stars, along with bits of his blood. As this is being told, you watch as the two pieces of light seem to coalesce into nothingness, and all of a sudden the room is filled with this brilliant scene of orbs that are appearing and floating in the void that is this room. You watch as pinpoints of light appear, stars in the sky. Back and forth and back they fought, many, many long battles over eons. They finally came to an uneasy truce, and together they saw what was wrought and what was created, and they decided that they would like to create new things, something to tide them over, things to play with. The void, he birthed forth 4 elements. There was Karinda, the goddess of fire, known as the ever-hungry. Her hair, a perpetual flame and cruel eyes. She was also known as the Master. There was Reshta, god of water. Finned and fluked and mischievous, he playful. Not mischievous like me, mischievous in a playful way. He lapped and danced at the shores. Oalea, goddess of air, the winged one, always appearing as if she were standing in a constant breeze blowing about her, and never quite touching the ground. Shukara, god of the earth, noble, gentle and slow, but also inexorable and powerful. And you watch as he's saying these names, these figures appear, and as he describes them, you can see them one by one, and as they appear as a form like a human, or whatever form they take, you also watch as this part of the firmament appears, or the skies, or this whole thing starts to form. There were the 3 sisters, of course, and at this you see these 3 orbs of light, pale in comparison to Shoth, the sun, the 3 moons that go through Kyrith's night sky. Athura, goddess of war. Helia, goddess of healing. And Malira, goddess of nature. There were many others. And then there were also these 2 most important. Sedret, the god of life, and Tidris, goddess of death. And you watch as this well-muscled, well-toned lion with a flowing mane of gold, he stands tall as a kamat, his hands over this gigantic blade. And he looks proud and noble, his head stretched out. And then you see next to him this black cat, like a panther, her face sleek, her body as sleek as the rest of her fur. She stands next to him and puts her hand on his. There were many more that came. Some finding their presence underneath others. And that is where I came from. I say that I am a trickster, but the truth of it is that I am more of what chance would have. I am the chaos that comes from taking chances and risks. I am the thing that people fear, and pray to, and hope for, love and loathe. I am chicanery. I am the roll of the dice, the chance that you take. Or much like playing a gambling game, the money is not come from thin air, but transferred from one person to another. I cannot create nor destroy, unlike the one that I held. Out of this steps Udgathar in his normal guise. He says, happenstance are not evil things. I am powerful. But there are many who pray to whatever gods of chance may be. I struck a deal many eons, millennia ago, that I would be the anchor by which would hold down an oubliette, wherein all magic was denied, all power was sucked dry. I tell you this now, for I feel something new, something that I have not felt in a while. Probably never. But seeing you and your companions and watching how you keep the secrets and safety of others, you take a chance every time you step forward to help someone. And it is by that chance that you take every time you step forward that I continue to exist. I repay your kindness, even though you do not know you worship me, because that is honestly what it is. But I repay your kindness with this. Your friend is quite strong. That is why I chose him. But I fear that his strength will wane in time. Could be years, could be moments, could be that I am wrong. But know that what he keeps in place belongs to none of the names that I mentioned. It is wanton destruction. It is chaos. Unlike my chaos. It is a thing that even I fear. I apologize again for my ruse. At least I did not have you blowing up goblins at the feast. But understand, I do not believe you would listen to me unless I showed you the very foundation upon which you are standing. The creation of all of this. It is important that you understand. I am not evil. I am playful. I am mischievous. I am a bit chaotic. But I do not wish you any ill will. I will fulfill the contract that you took out and pay you your talents. Marks, they have different names. But I pray you find some way to free your friend and put to rest whatever is there. I hope you are powerful enough. Understand that I am stricken with you. I would trouble you from time to time, as I am wont to do. But every time you step foot out, for every chance you take, every risk, there is a part of me that is there. I know that you will never call me friend. And he steps forward to look Callista dead in the eye when he says this. But I hope you understand the nature of what I am. As I understand, in a way, the nature of what you are. Now, my friends, I must bid you adieu. For I realize that while you are all entertaining, the world is much larger than the 5 of you. He takes a bow, and as he does, he kind of tumbles and disappears into nothingness. The light from 2 holes in the ceiling shine on a stone floor in an empty warehouse. The door behind you swings just a little bit open. Arneth, looking at your contract, you can see that it is signed, and there's an odd drawing of a curve, one, and then a point, like an emoji winking at you.
So extra. Well, I hope he doesn't get up to too much trouble.
Yeah.
Perhaps that wouldn't be so bad.
Well, what now?
I'm a bit sad that I don't get to kill any rats.
You're like, oh, man.
I'm sorry that I broke your heart that you want to be killing rats.
I can find you plenty of rats, I promise.
Go to the wharf. There are plenty of rats. Out there with a bat, just smacking rats in the head.
I don't think anybody is going to bat an eye if you're whacking rats.
As tale of the crazy half-orc goes out to the wharf every day and smacks rats in the head.
Do you have anything to say?
No one knows, but it's a service that he seems to enjoy paying to the people of Silverhaven.
Do you have anything to say? Oh, I love that he keeps killing the rats. I haven't had rats around me in years now.
Whack, whack, whack. What are you doing? Tuesday. That's the best answer ever. Are there any days that you don't kill rats? I kill rats on every day.
No.
I kill rats on every day that ends in Y.
Rats never change.
Rats don't sleep. Why should I?
Single-handedly just get the rat. Rampant murdering of rats. All right. You have the signed writ that was for this job.
I guess we're going back
okay. Well,
to the guild place building.
By the way, Yenfear, the tune that he was whistling, if you would have rolled higher, you would have recognized that it was one that Ugdithar was humming while you were all walking together.
Blasty rolls.
All right.
Heading back to the Adventurers Guild, then, are we?
See.
Well, yeah. Why not?
Got to get the monies, I suppose.
You make your way back. Upon entering the Adventurers Guild, you see that the board is once again nicely organized. The same blonde-haired, shortened beard dwarf stands behind there in his finery. He smiles at you all. Good day. I take it you have something to send in to me.
I will turn in my writ, yes.
All right. He puts down the 1 mark. I think so. There you are. He takes the paper from you and files it away.
1 mark is 10, right?
10 gold pieces. Your personal gold.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you want to share it with the party, it's up to you.
No.
All right. Callista, you turn in your writ.
Yep.
He takes it and he smiles as he goes, yes. There was a slight change to this one. I was asked upon return of this to summon an individual who took the contract up. I would ask you all to retire to the lodgings area, if you would, while we summon the contract maker. And with that, he lays down, he takes the box out, and you hear him lift, and you hear the sound of gold clack, 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 clack on each other. And he sets down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 marks, stacks them up, and slides them over to you. As I said, there was a change to the contract.
Okay. Well then.
Now, please wait. I will bring refreshments. Is there anything that I can get for
you? Wine, since I apparently have coin to spend.
Certainly.
And whatever they'd like.
Whatever you would like. All right. You place your orders, and he asks you to retire, and he's gone for a few minutes. You hear the door open and close. You hear him talk, and you hear the sound of coin like being laid down on the countertop. Giving a quick look out the room because there's no door. It's just like this open area, and you're like in an open air, not an open air, but you're like in an open parlor. Nice seating. There's a comfortable hearth there. You see a young boy, probably in his mid-teens. He's wearing a sash around his clothing, which looks nondescript, but the sash itself is important. He's one of the messengers. You watch as he takes the coin, gives a salute, and then he kind of splits out the door running. You're in the hearth for probably close to an hour, so you can get the benefit of a short rest. If anybody gets anything returned on a short rest, go ahead and do so. If you need to spend any hit die, I don't think any of you do, though, do you? Okay. So any benefit, you gain the benefits of rest, and at the end of that hour or so wait, the door opens, and you kind of see somebody walk up to the counter, dressed in a long robe, regal bearing on them. You realize, though, that it is a Kamat. He comes walking into you. His fur is a beautiful gold orange color. It's short, not super short, but not long. So I guess medium would be the answer there. Good.
What's between short?
Long and short? Medium. That's what it is. You watch as this medium furred, it's golden orange color, walks in. He's got yellow green eyes. At you and smiles, his little fangs popping in. I understand that you were the ones that helped me to clear out the ruffians from my redevelopment location.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. Without your help, I will not be able to press forward with my current plans and designs. As such, I would like to welcome you and thank you, and also offer you dinner. My treat. There's a small soiree, a party, if you will, to celebrate a birthday. And I would like you all to be my honored guests.
Well, I perk up as soon as I hear dinner.
It's like, ooh. I perk up as soon as I hear soiree.
And then I perk up again as soon as I hear birthday.
So
you're like,
will there be cake?
So let me get this straight. He's asking us to dinner, which is supposed to be a little soiree.
Birthday.
His words.
Birthday soiree dinner. Yeah. It's not suspicious. It's totally fine.
We don't really have that kind of formal wear.
Yes, I can see. And he kind of motions to Gillet.
I know, it's so hard. Traveling with these people that don't know how to dress.
I'm gonna lean over to Gillen and say, I think you look nice.
Thank you.
Callista's also going to lean it over. Yes, you do look really nice.
That's so precious.
So cute.
Doesn't matter, Dad. Go to... Hang on. Paper. And you watch as the dwarf... yes, Your Honor. And he walks over and grabs a piece of paper and a quill and hands it to the Kamat. The Kamat writes some instructions down and the name. You can all read and write common, so... he rolls it up and hands it to Callista. You're the one that turned it in.
Mm-hmm.
He hands it to you. This is a friend of mine, a tailor. Go there, have yourselves fitted. Something nice. Tell him it's a rush job. Tell him that, well, it's on the note. He'll know what to do. He'll charge it to me. Go now. I will see you all at the address that's on the paper this
Cool. We get new outfits.
You can see he is the kind of individual that is used to getting his way. He will broke no arguments. So, if you'd like to say anything to him,
I'm completely fine with this.
Thank you very much. We'll be there, won't we, Callista?
Yes. Yes.
We're going.
Of course. We'll
So
be
we're
there.
going. Great.
Yes.
Fantastic.
We should probably head to the tailor
Mhm.
then.
indeed, I'm not sure why you're stammering about. Good day. And he starts to leave, sweeping out the robes, kind of just leading. As the door opens, you can see standing outside is a small entourage, and you can see that most of them are heavily armed. They're carrying, swords, and some are carrying pikes. He says, "Let's go," and he starts moving, and they kind of close in around him as they move through out of the area. The dwarf standing behind says, That was most fortuitous for you all.
I'd say.
I say indeed.
Who is that?
Oh, that was one of the High Magisters.
Oh,
I see.
High Magister Hukenoth, as a matter of fact.
Yenfear?
Uh-huh.
I don't do well in crowds.
You'll be fine. We'll just fill you full of wine. We'll get you dancing. You'll be okay. Don't worry.
Maybe not fill me full of wine. Last time I did that, I kissed Lucky, and then for like a good 3 hours, I thought we did something more, but we didn't. And I don't think allowing me to imbibe on alcohol excessively is gonna be a good idea.
I'm
I
not
think it's a fine
saying the
idea.
problem. Whatever. It's fine. You'll have fun. We'll babysit. Don't worry.
For those of you who are wanting, the name is written High Magister Hukenoth.
Okay, I suppose we should go get outfitted then.
I mean, really,
Yeah.
Callista, at this point, to refuse would be extremely rude. And honestly, I really don't want to deal with that. I really don't. So let's just go. Let's have a good time, make appearances, and then we'll go and move on with our life.
You sound excited, Yenfear.
No, I think we've earned a night to relax. That's all.
For once, I actually agree with Yenfear. I really don't think we should insult this guy.
All right, let's go then.
Okay.
You'll be fine. You'll be okay, Callista.
All right. So you make your way to following the directions that were given to you. You can see that you're heading towards closer to the district where the Green Bough is. The place that you stayed the night before with Bernard, Telly, and Daisy. You pass by it, and you can see that the houses in this area are like those really swank townhomes, and some are actually small manors that sit on small, well-manicured lawns. The place that you're led to, though, is a... Yenfear, you'll love this. It has a wraparound porch with tall roofs that are conical on the 4 points. The roof of itself is swept up, and it is colored in bright, vibrant, like magenta, with yellow trim around the edges of it, white posts. The windows are stained glass here and there in the building. It is just brightly colored, but not tacky. You know what I'm saying? It's well kept, a manicured lawn, and you can see several different mix of humans and Kamat that are bustling about outside, working and tending to things, and just kind of making themselves busy. A small, recently painted clapboard sign sits right outside the picket fence that runs around the outside edge. And it says, Herber's, Herber, Herber's Fineries. Herber's Fineries.
Wow.
Small gate leads to a stone path that leads up to the front porch.
Huh. I've never seen a place like this. Well, are we ready?
No.
Lead the way.
I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
Yeah.
You asked.
You'll be
You
fine.
asked.
I just take Callista by her shoulders and march her up. You'll be fine. It's okay. It's okay. I promise.
All right.
It'll be okay.
As you open the front door, there's a small tinkle of a bell. Stepping around the corner in a beautiful brocade doublet, you see a halfling. His hair is trimmed on the sides, really short, and the top of it is this beautiful pomp that stands up and washes back. There's enough product in here to choke someone out, but it is beautifully done. He is perfumed, and in the shirt where it's open, there is a cravat that's tied, and you can see as he walks and looks at you. Well, aren't you a sight? How may I help you today?
She's gonna shakily, hold out the note.
He takes it and puts his hand on yours gently. It's all right. I won't bite. And he takes the note, unfurls it. Oh. Quickly rolls it up, tucks in his belt. This way. And he points to what would have been a parlor if this would have been a normal home. Inside, you see bolts of cloth stacked on shelves. You see mannequins and tapes, or measuring tapes, draped around their necks. You see all sorts of baskets, well-organized pens and things like that. Bobbins and all sorts of manner of sewing materials and things. Honestly, in real life, Maddie, it would be like, because it's just cloth.
Yep.
You see a small, as you walk into the parlor, there's another entryway that's open. It looks like it has pocket doors that close. And just beyond that, you see a couple of tables, and they have, they're wood, but in the center of them, you can see a bowl or dish that's shallow. And there's arranged in there several coals. One of them is currently burning a low flame, and on top of it has been set this little metal table, and on top of that is a teapot that's currently puffing steam out of it just gently. You see, like I said, there's about 4 or 5 of these tables in this room. There's nobody sitting around any of them, but you can just see that it's slightly puffing out. As he walks in, he says, "So, who would like to go first?"
Callista's
Ladies first.
Callista's gonna move behind Yinfir and just shove Yinfir forward.
I mean,
Or me.
Callista, if it's best to just get this done.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you won't have to wait.
I'll go. You go second.
You watch as he moves his hands, and as he does, the tapes slither off. And he takes 2 of them and he puts them against your shoulder here and starts to make measurements. They stay in place where he puts them as he stretches the tapes out across your arm.
God, if only.
He takes the tape and he starts and so he takes, and it's really interesting as he takes, puts it in place. It doesn't move as he takes measurements all over you. He doesn't seem to be writing anything down. He just seems to be making note of where it is and then continues on. You watch as he says, "You're a fine specimen. Measurements next.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Callista.
Will be ready in a moment, please." And he ushers you into the other room where there's, before you saw the little tea kettle sitting on the stand. The tea kettle is still there. Now there are 4 cups arranged around there.
This place is fucking fancy. Damn.
You don't know where they came from, but there are now 4 cups sitting around this table.
If he can use magic, I just don't ask, honestly.
Callista's going to push Arneth forward next.
No.
Yeah.
He steps back as you step forward because as you tower over him, he just kind of looks up and goes, takes you like green browns.
I'll like take off my cape and
I'm just saying the big fluffy.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll take off my
You're like, I look a lot larger with the cape on. You take the cape on, you're
take
still
the cape off, it's like scrawny. He's still
You're just like a little sick person, like a wet chihuahua.
It's like
and I'll take off my shoulder armor.
All right. As you disrobe, he just kind of goes, okay. As he takes the tape and he does the same thing, going again, not making any note of anything. A wet Pomeranian. Not making any notes of anything, but definitely sees that he's using some sort of magic to hold the tape in place and to record it. He says, so, tea. And I take it you like greens and browns, earthy tones. They match well with your skin. Good choice. Tea's that way. And you see Arneth or Yenfear is already like.
I'm here. I'm lounging like a king. Enjoying my
you're
tea,
like
pinky out.
You see a blur of motion. You don't know where it came from, but as you do, there's a slight click, and you see small sandwiches set out.
All right, well, I'm making a
beeline
for the sandwiches
and the sandwiches.
Pork chop sandwiches. The tea is minty and refreshing. There's like a hint of lemon and mint in there, and it's just really, really good. Gillet, you are shoved forward next.
Yeah,
I will assume.
I'll be stepping forward, frankly. At this point, I've seen the other two, and just like, all right, well.
Okay, fine.
As he's like taping around, he measures and touches his thumbs behind. He goes, "Are you made of granite?" Oh, well, I think slate blues for you would be really good. The eyes pop and brings out the tones in your skin. I'm done. Tea's that way.
Very well.
And he looks at you and he says, so, it's just you and I.
How discreet are you?
Sorry?
How discreet are you?
That's a really interesting question.
He's not making you bondage gear.
I'm not sure how to answer that.
Not that kind of discreet.
If I were to reveal what I truly am, you're not going to just turn me into the local guard, are you?
I have a question, a few questions. 1 head or 2?
1.
Or multiple? 4 limbs, 2 legs, 2 arms?
Yes.
No, don't give a shit. Let's go.
Okay. And then she'll remove the hat of disguise and set it aside and kind of just like remove, like she's down to like just the skirt and the peasant's top, but like she takes everything else off, including the hat of disguise, and her tail's kind of out, and she's like, you need to compensate in the skirt for the tail.
Of course, I've measured teeth before. You're nothing new. Would you like to accentuate the tail or keep it the same?
No. I hide that I'm a tiefling. That's why I have the hat.
What do you think? He's an amateur?
I do not want to.
You use the hat of disguise to make your clothing appear different too.
I could, but then I wouldn't get free clothes.
Touche. So, and you watch.
Do me for me, in real.
He just kind of chuckles as he shakes his head. He says, "You sure you don't want it accentuated? It's a beautiful tale."
It is, but I'm sure nobody else is going to see it until the world accepts what I am, and that's not going to be in my lifetime.
Shall I match the colors with your other form then?
Yes.
Perfect.
And she'll toss the hat back on, and then her skin tone is back to the pale of the elf.
And purple.
Yep.
He finishes measuring and says, all right, tea. I will be shortly with something for each of you to try on.
Okay.
Enjoy. If you need anything more, simply ask my manservant butler. And you watch as this soup of shape moves, and it stops. And it's like this squared TV or box. It's got a face on it that's made of metal. You see two wings that are moving like a hummingbird, just simply super fast. The whole thing seems to be made out of metal, some bronze or something like that, and it's moving really quickly. It's got legs. It doesn't look like it could ever stop or walk on them because they're just little spindly things. But the arms are these tubular mechanical things that move out. For those of you who have never played D&D or have played D&D, this is called a Modron. But it's basically like an automaton.
Sweet.
Cool.
He stops and gives you a little, and then buzzes away again. Just lightning quick. Zips away.
Impressive.
Amazing.
I came by him. He was hurt. I mended him, and he seems to kind of stay here. Lovely fellow. Doesn't eat anything. Doesn't bother me. Helps immensely. But yeah. And he shuts the pocket doors with that. I would say 40 minutes, close to an hour passes. The tea is gone cold. The Modron moves back in and kind of looks at you. And then just kind of zips away again. And he stops for, like he was asking if you need something.
Actually, it's now that the tea's gone cold that Callista is willing to drink it.
Okay. Cold tea.
Disgusting.
I mean, it's...
To each their own.
It'd be like American iced tea.
I do.
Room temperature tea? I don't know. Okay, I do too. I'm just being a judgment.
Yeah, I was about to say, excuse me.
Like me drinks my stone cold chamomile. It's like the worst flavor ever to drink cold.
I don't do iced tea.
What?
So,
No.
since we have the time, we really haven't had a chance where everybody is awake and cognizant to really talk and get to know each other. I mean, I trust you all with my life, given the fact that you didn't run screaming and or try to kill me when Lucky ruined my hat. So I guess I would like to know more about where you guys come from.
What a loaded question. Where shall we start? Like, how much do I lie?
Mostly.
How much?
Any given day or just in this particular?
In this
Right.
particular, I will let somebody else go.
I am not going to go first.
Unlike the
Go on.
measurements in which I was forced
Uh-huh.
to go first.
Yes.
Gillen,
Leonardo.
why don't you start?
Jesus Christ.
Come
Way to
on.
Oh
share
my
and
God,
embrace
you
the attitude
guys.
of being a team.
all right.
We're only 35 episodes in. Come on.
We only still mildly hate each other, or what? I don't know.
What would you like to know, Callista?
I don't think any of you hate each other.
Well, what was it like for you growing up? What made you be an adventurer? What really kind of pulled you here into this place and into the road and on the way to Adelar where you guys found me?
That was a really long question.
Well,
Any question marks there?
it's a series of questions.
What's the first one again?
What was your childhood like?
It was fine. I mean, it was just me and my mom all in the woods. She was a ranger, so you can see where I get it from. She had many wolves. They were pretty much like my brothers and sisters growing up.
It all makes sense now. Literally raised by wolves. Okay.
With wolves.
By.
Well, raised by mom, but with wolves.
Yeah.
As a wolf. You were raised as a wolf.
Tree.
Okay,
Shake
so
your paws out before you step into the den.
Let's start with that question then, Yinfir. What was it like for you growing up?
Oh my.
I was literally raised in a whorehouse.
I mean, like, how else do you say it, really?
Brothel.
So,
Well,
House of ill repute.
Yes.
Same page.
I was raised a brothel. And of all the places a man to be raised, that's not, I wouldn't recommend it. That's all I can say. My mother is a working lady. She's very strong and wonderful and one of the smartest ladies I've ever known.
I love Arneth agreeing, just silently.
She's great. Gotta meet her.
Party mom.
10 out of 10. Unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of role models. So I took to music and adventuring to expand my horizons beyond the Silken Sash. And now I'm here.
And what about you, Gillet?
well,
I just want Gillet to say, I punch, I kick, I stretch. I'm 50!
well, I mean, my mother was a merchant. Every once in a while, I got to go with her on her travels, and they seemed a hell of a lot more interesting than staying with my father on the farm. And so I left when I got too bored. And here I am. And that's all he's feeling comfortable telling right now.
What about you, Callista?
I mean, I was in a sheltered town. The town is completely comprised of tieflings. Just beyond the edge of the break. And always thought there was something more. Always knew there was something more. Was constantly questioning what the elders said and what they decreed was right for the village, and I didn't agree with it. I got my parents in a lot of trouble for that. Wound up getting exiled and traveling, believing that I would be fine. There's no way that they could possibly say that what they said about everybody else and the way they treated tieflings was true. Except it was. And the first thing I found after that experience was a hat. So
I'm sorry.
Hey, it is what it is, and I'm still cheerful and trusting in spite of it. So they haven't broken me yet.
I'm glad.
So you guys have mentioned Annalise before. Or I think Lucky mentioned Annalise before. What happened to her? Although, given that look, Yennefer, if it's not comfortable to talk about, I mean, you don't have to tell me. I'm just
complicated
curious.
from my end. The rest of the part, we didn't part ways on the best terms.
She basically murdered someone while we were in a round and got into a lot of trouble for it.
My apprentice.
Sure, yeah.
Still salty. Like, is it really your apprentice?
What's he really?
No. What is he really?
He was your apprentice
He
after
was
you-
almost Griffin.
Right. The reason that she killed him was that you didn't do a very good job apprenticing him.
I didn't get a chance. We're not doing that.
Okay.
It is about this time that the pocket door, saving you from an awkward.
Okay, noted. Don't ask about Annalise.
He steps forward.
Is your cat in a box?
You already said cat, so yes.
This is what you have to put up with?
Yeah. Just crashes the door down.
He steps forward and says, I need the two big ones. Pointing to
Right.
Arna and Gillet.
All right.
Right, I'll go.
Too
He
much
he pulls you back into the parlor and across the hallway to another room. This one is set up with a series of curtains that cross each other. They can be moved back. You get the idea that it's a dressing room. As he moves you into Gillet into another, you see hanging on this beautiful Gillet, this beautiful blue, like slate blue tunic, and it seems to come and cross over, and it's tied with a sash that's made of like this stone gray, but like light gray material that wraps around it, almost like a granite. The pants are voluminous, and they seem to be made of the same color. And you see wrappings that are unwrapped currently that are of that same thing. He says, this will do you nicely. Please make sure that it fits you according to the measurements that I have. I may need to take it in certain areas. And he slides the curtain closed. He walks over to your side, Arneth, and you see hanging there a beautiful mix of leather and cloth. It's like a lightweight, thin leather that comes down through the center. The whole thing kind of clasps in the middle with toggles or togs. And you see that it fits on you perfectly, almost like a vest, but with sleeves that can be folded up. They hang down over the fingers. They're meant to be folded and pinned on both sides.
Do I get
The
that
sleeves-
good cleavage action?
Get that good man cleavage going.
It's good.
Yennefer's
tapers in
not
at the
there, but
waist.
absolutely knows that there's just.
It tapers in at the waist and then flares out slightly over the hips, and there is a large belt that fits around the waist. You can see that the pants are not leggings; they're actually pants. Looking at them, they seem to have a slimmer line through the legs, but they seem to like ride low on your waist. He says, that should fit you nicely. And he shuts the curtain. True enough.
Damn, looking sexy.
You look, I should have been in fashion design, but only for like medieval clothes. can't draw with it. Shit.
You learn.
Gillet, it fits perfectly. No adjustments needed. It fits all the way through. You realize that there's enough range of movement that you can actually like move through full actions, and it's loose enough to allow you that.
Gorgeous.
The pants fit you. They outline the beautiful build of your thighs and your calves. They're slimmed down and they flare just ever so slightly so that you could wear your boot underneath or over them and they would still look good. The whole thing looks fantastic on you. And you kind of polished steel mirror there. And for a second, you're like, who's that? And it looks good on you. As you were dressed, he asked you, well, if you're dressed, come on, let's see what you look like. You step out and see each other, and yeah, man, you guys, you're not adventurers. You're, upper crusts now. He says, well, go show your friends. As they step around the corner, Yennefer, the sight of Arneth, well, the sight of Gillet is amazing. The shirt itself is like it's a tunic like, but there's actually like no sleeve. It's just kind of this little partial sleeve that comes down over vest here. It's more like a vest on him. That stone wraps, there were some for your legs that go all the way up to the knee. Your pants tuck into them. And then the same thing, he had wraps for your hands that come all the way down to like here on your forearm. And they fit nicely. And they flex and move. Yennefer, Arneth looks like royalty as he steps forward. And you can realize what you didn't see pattern in the mirror there was that the leather is embossed or stamped rather, and you can see what looks like vines and leaves all over the leather that come all the way down. The belt has it too. And the clasp is I'm not making fun for my Canadian folks, but the clasp is a maple leaf.
Oh fuck yeah. Maple leaf.
Because I think maple leaves are pretty oak.
They are
cool, but maple leaves are distinct.
They are, that's why it's our flag.
That's right. Red, white, and never blue, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, yeah, you look the nines, and he says, huh, I've outdone myself. All right, you two, let's go.
Okay. I'm like still looking at Arnett like, what the fuck?
You almost walk into the edge of the door.
just catch in. Myself like.
I mean, Callista trips over a chair. Like, I'm not even gonna make like any qualms about this. No, she literally just trips over a chair.
Are you okay?
Mm-hmm. She's fine. We're fine. Let's go.
Great. Let's go. Leads you into the same changing area. Closes the curtains and you see Callista. It's a beautiful dress that starts in the lavender that is almost, or the purple of your hair, fades slowly until it reaches like this dusky white at the bottom. The colors just cascade all the way down.
Looking like a fairy princess.
It fits high, just underneath the bosom, and it trims in, and the gown doesn't flow out, but it flows slightly out, flares out slightly all the way down to the ground so that you can move in it. But more importantly is the way that it's cut and flows down and out, it hides your tail. Yes. The sleeves are loose and they come to about here before they flare open. So they have that wonderful bell shape to them. And again, they seem that same flow of color to where when you put your hands at your side, the color flow matches all the way down. And on top of it, or with it, is a small wreath crown of little flowers. Looking at them, you think they're real at first, but you realize that they're not. They're made from fabric, and they're beautifully designed, though. He asks you, are you done? Might I see your hat, please?
Okay. And she hands the hat out to him.
Good. Put on the crown. And this thing is hideous. And he walks away.
She's gonna slowly slip the crown on.
All right, you go from your tiefling self back to your pale skin, purple-haired elf. I thought that would look much better with the gown in case you decide not to hide your true form.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, you pump. Let's see what you look like.
I throw open the curtain like I'm $1,000,000.
Okay.
I'm like stepping out. Like I've left the crown appearance like in the hair because it's a really nice accent. But
it looks great.
She looks like the elf again.
Yeah, it's slightly different purple so that it can be it stands out.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it still accentuates it nicely. Okay, I know our viewers are kind of dropping off as montage, but bear with me because I have saved the best for last.
Of course.
The tunic is open to the chest with a low V. The sleeves puff out from underneath the vest that doesn't close completely. It is of like a jade green color that flows all the way down. The vest hangs slightly below the waist where it's sashed around with this belt of intertwined leather that has feathers that are stamped into it. And if you upon closer inspection, they are peacock feathers. They have that same shape.
Because of course they are. I love it.
The pants are this beautiful accentuated blue that matches the green perfectly. And they are tight to the leg all the way down, and they have little buttons at the bottom of them. Right about mid-calf is how far they go. The shirt, like I said, is this like yellowish cotton, like the original cotton color. It's not been bleached out or anything. And it is open so that it comes to here, and it does not close. And the shirt, although the sleeves are full and allow for a lot of movement, the shirt itself fits snugly across your chest. As you slip on the pants, you realize they hug. As you step forward, he says, "Yeah, not bad."
Hey?
What can I say? Your colorful personality is hard to match.
This is true.
All right.
You still look like a disaster, but you look like an expensive disaster.
I always look like an expensive disaster. Thank you.
Or an expensive mistake. One of the two. I mean that in the nicest way possible.
But Callista would like to show off her dress. The other two.
And she looks lovely. The purple in the dress matching to her hair so that it looks like her hair cascades to the dress and the color bleeds and fades to white down at the bottom. A small crown of flowers made of beautiful fabric in her hair.
Gillet's going to cough and try desperately to make sure the tea doesn't go up his nose.
Do a little twirl.
She
You
does,
look like a princess.
and the skirt kind of flares out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous.
It's just barely dragging the ground. Just barely. Like if
She's
you were to
like-
put on a heel, it would be just
Yeah.
off the ground.
And
You
she's
look
like,
beautiful.
it hides my tail.
And then
Cool.
I look at you in fear. And I'm just like, well, you always look perfect, so.
Well, thanks.
He says, well, this is all taken care of. Tea and the sandwiches. And he hands you back the slip of paper. And he smiles at you as you take it and touches you. You shouldn't hide who you are. And he pats your hand. He says, no, be off. You have a party to attend. The king's 350th birthday after.
What?
No.
I'm sorry. Hang on. I'm sorry.
Did Hookeneth not tell you?
No.
Oh, that cagey little kitten. All right. Well, have fun. Bye.
Yennefer, we absolutely could have refused.
Oh well,
Invitation
no,
for the
it's fine.
king's
It's fine.
birthday. And what do you?
No.
You can't put me in front of
This-
royalty. What are you doing?
This is an opportunity of a lifetime.
Please stop standing in my door arguing. Go.
Okay, bye. Thanks. And I just take her arm and march her out.
She wants her hat back, and she puts it in her bag.
Okay.
You look
He
wonderful.
gives you back that ugly piece of material.
It gets shoved in the
Looks at it
bag.
with disdain.
To be honest, she's probably just gonna use the crown from now on because it's very beautiful.
It's a look.
Mhm.
All right. You make your way to the address, which is a bit a ways from where you are, but asking around and asking the right people, they point you, and you come closer to the mountain where most of the dwarven citadels and the manors and they live in are at. You find the address, and it is a beautiful manor. 2 stories only, but still sprawling. And again, kept inside of a wrought iron fence that's stacked on top of a stone wall. The whole aperture is probably about 20 feet tall. Half stone, half that wrought iron with spikes on the top of it. The gate is guarded by two men who are not heavily armored, but still armored and armed. They have pikes in their hands. As you approach, they bar the way and they ask, "Might we know what your purpose is?"
We're here to get lit. I'm just kidding.
We were invited. We're the party of adventurers invited by High Magister Hookeneth.
He said that you would have a piece of paper with you.
Yes, right here.
And he takes it for a moment, opens it up, nods, hands it back, open the gate. And you watch as the other one kind of reaches in and pulls this piece back and opens the gate for you guys to enter in. As you enter in, he closes the gate. A paved path leads up to the front door, which is this beautifully red painted thing set in the stone of the building. As you make your way through the path, the door opens and High Magister Hookeneth steps forward, dressed in an even more regal. He says, "You all look absolutely stunning. Thank you all for agreeing to attend with me. I will be the toast of the town this evening, especially with such lovely company. But we have no time to dawdle, as the party will be on soon, and we would not like to be late, even though that's a fashionable thing to do. So, with that being said, the carriage is being pulled around, and as soon as he says that, you do see, or you hear the clop of hooves on like crushed stone. It's not really clop, then the mush of stone underneath horse hooves, and the carriage comes pulling around. It's a beautiful affair, and it looks like it'll of you in there nicely. The doors open, and inside is a slightly perfumed smell, and there seems to be it's about that big around, it's about that tall, and it's kind of sitting in the middle of it. It looks like it's made of metal, and as you get close to it, you can realize that it's emitting just a slightly cool air from it.
This bitch is air conditioned. Oh, hell yeah.
As you all climb in, he takes and he climbs in first and then allows entry. You see the footman helps you all into the carriage itself. He closes the door and you hear the slight clink of crystal or glass. And you look in the door and they're about yay wide, but about that tall, of bottles of different liquor or other drink material in there.
This is fancy as hell. Damn.
It is. With that, he kind of knocks on the roof, and you hear the "Hup!" and the wagon pulls forward smoothly. You continue on. You're riding in there for just a little bit, maybe 20 minutes or so, at a leisurely pace, just taking your time. You arrive outside of the... Actually, no. Sorry. Back that up. Distracted for a second. Apologize. The cool from the little hole that's in there stops as you realize shadows have fallen on the outside of the carriage, even though the sun wasn't set yet. Looking out the window, any of you would see that you've actually entered into the mountain itself. The carriage comes to a stop after about another 10 minutes of running, and the carriage door is opened, and the footman helps you all out. You're standing in front of what can only be described as a fortress or a castle, but it's built into the side of the mountain. Only the front of it, which looks to be a bearded dwarf with his mouth open, the entry being the mouth, the crown reaching high into the sky, flattened edges that have been etched out of it. The castle itself is massive. You can see people coming and going in and out of there, people carrying platters of food. There is no grass. There are stone gardens that are here all over the place. And you can see statues erected of different dwarves in action poses, hefting axes, some carrying them over their shoulders with their shields up, some holding hammers in the air. They're all different poses. Underneath each one, you can see a plaque, and it tells the name of a former king, Silverhaven. The High Magister leads you into the castle proper, where dinner is served. He parades you like the prime guest. Like, I'm so much better because I have adventures. What have you brought?
Just drinking it in like a sponge.
Yeah. This feeds your ego like it's like a smorgasbord for your ego. It's an all-you-can-eat buffet. As the drink flows, the stories become a bit more outlandish, and over time, food is served and everyone sits and eats. The tables are strewn out with people dressed in finery. He points out a few people whose names you will never. He points at the head table, and you see a gray bearded dwarf with short hair. The crown sitting on his head looks heavy, made of gold and silver, and bits of iron in there, jewelry all around it. But his stout shoulders show the signs of a strong build, a long life lived in the beard that's been braided together, trinkets here and there braided into it. He stands and raises his cup high. His voice is firm. I'd like to thank you all for coming. 350 years I've been here. King of the mountain. King of Silverhaven. And I find it a great joy to be here with. And he motions to either side. And you see sitting next to him another dwarf whose beard is just as long and braided. You see salt and pepper in it. And next, on the other side, you see a young woman, a dwarf, where she would have facial hair this soft. It's like really soft, and most of it shaved or trimmed and kept close to her face. Her hair is a long blonde color and braided into two thick braids that sit over her shoulder. Next to her is another dwarf, much younger, short black brown hair that seems to be swept forward into kind of like a mohawk or a faux hawk almost. His beard is short and kept close, as I like to say when it comes to beards, a lot like mine. He raises his glass, and you see the girl and the older dwarf raise his glass. And he says, "To my children, may they live long, and may they always find solace here." And he sets his cup down, and everybody gives a cheer, and everybody drinks. You watch as the older one of the three kids stands. He walks over with a goblet. His sister picks it up and hands it to him. And he takes this goblet, and it's a very fine ornamental thing. It's made of silver and gold and inlaid with stones all around it. Not the cup that the dwarf was drinking from, this other thing, a very ceremonial thing. He takes a knee as he hands the cup to his father. And you watch as the dwarf takes it and tips the drink back in one slow pull and then puts the goblet down on the table. There's a cheer from all the dwarves. You can tell this is a ceremonious thing for them. He stands and claps him on the shoulder and then puts his hand on his daughter's shoulder and then kind of reaches over a little bit further and grabs his other son. And as he stands there looking, he takes for a second and he puts his hand on the table and his brow furrows. And he looks at his son and he mutters, "What have you done?" And he sits heavily down in the chair and he puts a hand to his brow. Brushes his hand up to the crown. He pats his son on the shoulder. "Sorry, I've had a bit of a spell. I'm not feeling well. Let the party continue. I'm going to retire. I'm not as young as I was 100 years ago." There's a little chuckle from everyone. He stands and he looks at his children. And they all stand and they kind of gather around him. They all leave down off of the platform and out into a door behind them. The party continues. Everybody's having food. There is cake to Arneth's delight.
They have the good frosted flowers on them.
Mm-hmm. Those hard candied flowers.
Hell yeah.
Drink is served and everybody seems. Eventually, you watch as the three children come back and sit down. They sit closer to one another, and they seem to be having a conversation with one another. The party seems to be carrying on when all of a sudden you watch as a guard or some figure of the household run up the dais and start talking to the eldest of the three children. High Magister Hookeneth leans over and he tells you, the oldest one, his name is Balnir, the girl is Jedar, and the boy is Eobard, the youngest. Of course, as with any monarchy, Balnir, the eldest, would be the rightful heir to the throne. They are good children, but each has their own predilections, if you will. I wonder what they're talking about up there. It seems quite urgent. You watch as Balnir stands and points to the three entry points. And you watch as he says something, but you hear it because, again, this room is just huge. And there are people everywhere, and the tables are spread out long. As he points, you watch as people, guards, dwarves in stout armor, move over and stand in front of the doors.
Does this strike you as weird to anybody else?
The High Magister looks around and goes, "Indeed it does. I don't think this is going well at all. I'm going to find out what's going on." And you watch as he stands, cupping his hands, and he makes his way gliding forward. A couple of others in robes that look similar to his, but not necessarily the same. Clearly a station, not necessarily his fine wear. Finery. He moves towards the dais. As he mounts it and stands in front of the table, you can hear voices raised, but you can't quite make out what they're saying.
Yeah.
The Magister nods his head and then makes his way back down to where you all are sitting.
Thanks.
The king's fallen ill. They fear the worst. We're all being detained until such a time as they can figure out exactly what's happened. There's food and drink, although I think fresh stores are being brought in for that. But they say that the king is not responding at the moment. They fear the worst.
I just wanted to have a good night. Just one fucking night without betrayal and murder and
Callista is staring at Yennefer like we could have not been here.
What was I supposed to know?
We're all to be questioned.
That's understandable.
I'm sorry to have brought you into this. I could not suspect anything of such a sort would happen. I apologize for it. Right. I'm not
fun while it lasted.
We still have cake.
Well, at the very least, we have alibis. I mean, you were with us, and there's no way we'd get in without you, right?
True. Yes, that's a very good point. And before that, you were with my friend Herber.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Good.
You could not possibly wish any ill will in the king. What good would it benefit you, right? That is all.
Really?
I just, after all, my skills at deducting and deducing, realizing some things.
Calm down. You're okay.
I'm sorry.
Just breathe.
Yes. Breathe in and out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're well respected, aren't you?
Yes, I am one of the High Magisters, so I'm quite well respected. I have no reason. King, good.
Just tell them the truth, and you'll be fine.
Certainly. Certainly. You watch as the three are standing, or they're sitting, but they're starting to have some of the other dwarves who sashes of state, or sashes of their station, walking around, and they're pointing at individuals and then motioning them to come up. And as they come to your table, you watch as they motion to the four of you and to the High Magister, whose fur immediately bristles, and he says, "Yes, relax and tell them the truth. That is what we'll do. So let us go." And as you make your way up to the dais and the platform, that is actually where we're going to call it tonight, because I don't want to get too wrapped up into what will happen next.
I'm like,
want to.
Okay.
But next week, suspicions abound. Who would try to murder the old king? Is he really dead? He's fallen ill, but no one knows, and he's being kept out of sight. Maybe our team will Scooby-Doo it up and discover who's at the bottom of it all.
Who's
next week on Foundations of Adelar. I would love to thank Chief, who is playing Arneth, Steve, who is playing Gillet. I would like to give a huge thanks to Jack, who is playing Yennefer, and an even bigger, I cannot express how much Maddie has done for us, getting Zoom set up, getting sure that we're here. I hope everybody likes the new layout. More changes are coming as Maddie is, again, busting her ass. All of this because she loves what we've got going on here and loves me, I guess. I don't know. Why would you do this thing?
It's almost like we're friends or something. It's disgusting.
No, it's weird. Gross. That's it. Last episode. Bye, everyone. No. We'll be back on Wednesday. However, this Wednesday is Halloween. As many of you know, I am a dad. I have 3 children, if you did not know this, and that is a special night for us as we are going trick-or-treating. However, Alone in the Void will be brought to you by Atlas, who will be doing a murder mystery. And then stay tuned, or tune back in, because Maddie's movie, that's right, you heard me, the movie that Maddie is broadcast from her channel, and we will give you more information, but I believe it's just Pink Rambo, right?
Yep, it is twitch.tv/Pink Rambo.
Exactly.
Super
Tune in
easy.
to watch the movie. Easy. We'll make sure that you guys have links, but come and tune in for the murder mystery as well as the movie. And I will be back next Monday for more Foundations of Adalar and a mystery as to what's going on and who's
conspiracy.
And I hope everybody enjoyed a bit of the Kyrith, because it is kind of an unknown to a lot of you. So that was a good way, I think, to get that in there and still have it going. Mm-hmm. Anyways, I hope everybody enjoyed tonight's episode. Wednesday, Murder Mystery Alone in the Void, and then Monday with Foundations of Adalar, and possibly more stuff to come in the future. Until next time, we love every one of you. We appreciate your viewing, and take care of yourselves. Happy Halloween, everyone. Bye.
Happy Halloween. Bye.